Alright, algebra kids, this is Mr. Kim again. I know I've been out a couple days now, but this is going to be the last one for a little bit. So take out your homework corrected by CB. We should be pros at this by now. And take out that red pen or correcting pen, whatever you're going to use, and we're going to go through the homework right now in 3, 2, and 1. You had a pretty short homework assignment. It was only 12 problems. And again, these were equations you've seen before. We just had to review it. Today, we're going to do something brand new, but for now, at least it was review. The answers have to be pretty much identical, so negatives included. Over here on number 13, you don't need both answers, you need one or the other. I just want to make sure that some of you, if you put improper or mixed, you knew that they're both the same. The decimal form for number 13 is 16.4. One more time, I'm sorry, 6.4. Once again, the decimal for 13 is 6.4. So either the decimal, mixed, or improper. Other than that, the answers are what they are. So go ahead and finish up and make this happen quickly. Teacher, please pause the video at this time so that the students can finish up. They should be finishing up really quickly. Thank you. Alright guys, you should be getting your notes out next. We're going to start a lesson. This video lesson is also going to be online, as I always say it. Anything that I show in class when I'm not here, we're going to repost it. So it'll be on Haiku tonight. And if you've checked my Haiku page the last couple of days, you've seen just I think two videos total, so this will be number 3. Alright, here we go. Starting our notes. Today is lesson 2 part 1. We're splitting this up into 2 days. Today we're doing multi-step equations with integers. We're going to add more things to those two-step equations that you did yesterday, and we're only going to focus on using integers today. Tomorrow we will focus on using fractions and decimals, rational numbers. So you're going to be able to solve multi-step equations with integers, which basically means more than 2 steps. Some are 3 steps, some are 4 steps. It's not about how many steps we have, it's about what do you do when you see certain things. And that's what I'm going to go over today, and then we'll get through these problems. So here we go, in 3, 2, and 1. So some rules to consider. You're going to have to write this down. Okay, some rules to consider. Distribute first if possible. What that means is if you see the distributive property being able to happen, in other words, if you see something like this, right, make sure you distribute correctly. If you can. If you cannot distribute, if there are no parentheses to look at, then don't force it. But that's why I put it first, because if you see it, you have to do it first. If not, then don't worry about it. That's why there's a big if. Second step, combine like terms on each side. You're going to have a chance to make both sides of the equation, the left side and the right side, smaller. In other words, we're going to simplify the left side, simplify the right side. We're going to shrink it down. And then you solve the equations like normal. Move variables and numbers across the equal sign. And you're going to do that by using the opposites, the pluses and the minuses and the division and the multiplication. All right? So again, some things to consider. You have to this isn't like a, step 1, step 2, step 3. This is all encompassing, which just means they are all involved, some more than others, depends on the problem. But you have to be able to be fluid with it, which means it's not this, you have to do this here, you have to do this. You have to recognize when step 1 and 2 apply, or when step 2 and 3 apply, and when step 1 doesn't work at all. So you look at the problem, then you figure it out. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. So we're going to do some problems, about 8 of them total. In the beginning I'll go slowly, and then we'll speed up as we get better at this. So number 1, get this copied down. 4 times the quantity 2a plus 2 minus 17 equals 15. So, like I said, if you look back at the general rules, right, it says distribute if possible. So it's possible to distribute here because I see a parentheses. So we're going to take that 4, multiply in twice, right? And I'm going to show my steps in red here. So that's going to be 8a plus 8. That we've done before. We just did it earlier this week, or last week. We had a quiz on this. Then this minus 17 that we didn't do anything with, we just recopy it down. That 15 we didn't do anything with, comes right down. Now, the second step was to combine like terms on both sides. In other words, what we're going to do is see if we can shrink down either the left or the right or both sides. Right now 15 is all by itself, and that's okay. We don't need to do anything there. Over here I see 8a, an 8, and a negative 17, which means these two numbers are the same type. They're integers. They're of the same family, so we have to shrink that down. So when we do this problem, it's a positive 8 minus a 17. So positive 8 minus 17. When we rewrite this, we have to simplify that, and that's going to be negative 9. You have $8, you owe me 17, you still owe me 9. The 8a comes right down because we didn't do anything. The 15 comes right down. We didn't do anything. Now this looks like a two-step equation, what we did yesterday on Monday. It's the same exact thing. Add 9 to both sides. So we get 8a equals 24. And then we simply divide by 8. A equals 3. So from here on out, from this step right here, 8a minus 9 equals 15, this is exactly the same as we've done yesterday and what you learned last year. So the only new part is this from here to here, this distributive property and then the combining of these terms. In this case, it was a positive 8, negative 17. So this is what I mean. Those rules are kind of step by step, not really all the time, but you kind of have to be open to what you see. Hopefully this makes sense. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2, I see parentheses again, so that question, can we distribute? The answer is yes, going to distribute this 2. Right now it's a positive 2, so this is going to be 2a minus 6. Notice how I did that first. Then the rest of everything else in the equation, the stuff I did not use, comes with the problem. Alright, so there we go. Combine like terms if possible. To the right side, I like my negative 9 by itself. I see on the left side, this negative 6 needs to combine with this 7. Both of them together are going to give me a positive 1, or 7 minus 6 is 1. I'm going to put that on the right side of my 2a because I just like the variables on the left. It just looks better to me. You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but make sure you at least have the same numbers I do. Now this is a two-step equation, minus 1 on both sides. Cancel things out. 2a equals, this is negative 10 because we're combining more negatives together. Divide by 2. And we've got a equals negative 5. So hopefully you're seeing that we just added a couple steps here, distributing and combining like terms. But from here on down, it's a two-step equation, which again, we've already done. You've done before. We did it yesterday, and now we're doing it again today. Moving on, 3, 2, and 1. Here we're going to speed it up a little bit, all right? Just speed it up means I'm going to go a little faster. Number 3, we check if we can distribute. I don't see any parentheses, so guess what? No distributing needs to happen. No multiplying in anything. No distributing a number. So I try to go to part 2 of my general rules. Can I combine anything? Can I shrink stuff? And I can. This 2n and this 3n can combine, and that's going to make a 5n. So let's go ahead and combine that, make a 5n. Then copy everything else down that is not being used. Alright, two-step equation, right? I'm going to move the 7, minus 7, minus 7. So it'll cancel out on the left. 5n equals, now with these two numbers we're going to add because we're just getting two negatives and making them bigger. It's negative 48. So now we divide by 5. And some of you are thinking, oh no, it's not going to work. You're right, we can't divide it. 5 is not going to go into 48. So like I've been saying, this is algebra, we can leave them as improper fractions. Just make sure you've reduced or tried to. I don't believe there's a number that's going to divide into 5 and a 48. It's not going to happen. So we're done. Keep the negative. Alright, let's move on to number 4. For number 4, same type of problem as maybe 1 and 2. Check to see what I can do. I see some parentheses. That means distribute needs to happen. Big little something to focus on here. This 3 that you're going to distribute is not just a 3. It is a negative 3. Why? Because we're going to distribute a negative 3 to the 2 and a negative 3 to the 4. Which means we have to change signs. So that's going to be a negative 6k. And when we multiply it to the 4 here, that's going to be negative 3 times 4. That's negative 12. So in other words, we have to distribute the negative along with the 3. Then we write down the negative 6 that we didn't use and the 18 we didn't use. Now some of you are thinking, Mr. Kim, the variable's on the right side. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether you're on the left or the right. Shrink things down as much as possible. This 18's by itself, I like that. I don't like this right side, it's a little messy. I see negative 6 and negative 12 can combine. So negative 6 and negative 12 can combine, and that's going to be a negative 18. So I'm going to bring down my negative 6k first, make a negative 18 on the right, and put the 18 here. Some of you might be asking, Mr. Kim, can we switch the order of this negative 18 and this negative 6k? Yes, you can, as long as you have negatives on both of them. right? Got to get rid of this 18. Some of you might be thinking, oh, we got to move the left 18, this 18 over here. Nope, there's no variable over there. The variable is right over here, so that means this is the side I'm going to work on. So I'm going to move this negative 18 by doing plus 18. This is where kids get messed up. They think, oh, aren't you supposed to minus 18? The answer is no. So you get 36 over here. We divide by negative 6 because that's the number that's next to my variable. And k is going to equal negative 6. And we're done with this problem. Again, a two-step equation once we got to here. Right? But before that, we had a little bit of stuff to worry about. Things like negatives, things like combining like terms. Right? Let's move on to 5 and 6. Alright, here are 5 and 6. Combining like terms or distributing. We had to figure it out. I don't see parentheses. Combine like terms. So, that means we have to look at what's the same. What's in the same family? Negative 7g, positive 5g. That's going to make a negative 2g. Bring down my minus 14. We haven't done anything with that. Bring down the negative 8. This is an easy problem. It's a two-step equation. Add the 14 to the left. Add the 14 to the right side of that equal sign. Negative 2g equals 6. Notice how we just move stuff across? That's the idea of an equation. We have to undo stuff. The only way to undo stuff is moving things from the left side to the right side. And that's or the right side to the left side. Depends on where your variable is. So my variable is here with the letter g, and I'm trying to move this negative 2 by division. So that's what I did. G equals negative 3. At this point, some of you are getting pretty comfortable with these problems. If so, see if you can beat me. Right? I am explaining and talking at the same time. See if you can go ahead and faster than me. And if you can and you get the right answer, you're probably good to go. Nothing to worry about. All right? Okay. This problem presents a problem to lots of kids. No distributor property here because there's no there's no parentheses. But I see these two letters. Letter C here and letter C here. And some of you get confused. Wait, that's a little negative. That's a minus sign. Guess what? They're both negative C's. This is a negative C, and so is this. Now, I know that this one in the middle with the bigger looking minus sign looks different, but it doesn't matter. They're both negative. They're both having a negative value to it. So when we combine two negatives, that just makes a bigger negative. Negative 2C plus 7. Negative 18. My variable's on the right side. Right side of what? Right side of this equal sign. This equal sign tells me what to do. It tells me where to look. So this variable's on the right side of that, so I'm going to move away the number on that side. Negative 7. Negative 7. And now I get a negative 2c on the right. I get a negative 25 on the left. And I divide by negative 2. I did this problem for one purpose and one purpose only. It's not because you get a fraction. We've already done one of those. It's because we have two negatives here. I'm going to circle them. Right? Two negatives means this is a negative 25 divided by a negative 2. When you divide a negative by a negative, you simply get a positive. So it's a 25 over 2 as your final answer. So you have to you have to change those negative signs. Leaving both of them there is not okay. All right, we're ready for our last two problems. Here we go, 3, 2, and 1. There we go. 7 and 8. Let's make it happen. Again, see if you can beat me. If you can, you're good to go. If you can't, follow along. Last two. Distribute that negative 5. Sorry, things think. All right, there. Distribute that negative 5 to both the 3 and the 12. Negative 15x minus 60, okay, because it's negative times positive, equals negative 15. So I'm going to go ahead and pretty much add 60 to both sides. Negative 15x. Over here on the right side, 60 minus 15. For those of you that are trying to do this in your head, it's better if you have the bigger number, I mean bigger in value, above. So that's really going to be a 45. And those of you that are really good at division, you're going to notice that 15 does go into 45. It goes in 3 times, and we have a negative 3 as a result because of the negative 15. All right, that's how you do number 7. Number 8. Get this copied down. Here we go. Distribute the 3. Okay, it's a positive 3. I'll erase a little bit of it so you can see. It's a positive 3. That's going to be 6x minus 15. Copy everything else that we did not use. Don't start moving stuff around or or don't start losing symbols because you forget about them. You copy everything down that you didn't use. Over here, we're going to combine like terms. They're a part of the x family, so that's going to be 2x minus 15 equals 31. Regular two-step equation now. Add 15 to both sides. So 2x equals 46. I believe 2 does go into 46, and that's going to go in a nice 32 times. Whoa, 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 whoa. 23 times. Sorry, I got my numbers mixed up. There we go. And that's it. That's a two-step equation, or I'm sorry, multi-step equations, multi meaning more than two, with integers, right? Tomorrow we'll mix fractions up into this, but for now it's just integers. That's it. That's the lesson. You have your homework assignment to do. Real quick, look at the board because I changed a number on your homework sheet where that arrow looks, where you see that 10 and that big arrow. It says 12. I meant to change that to a 10, so you do the 1 on the board, 1 through 10, and then 13 to 21. That's it. Again, this video will be online. Good luck, and we'll see you all Wednesday, I promise.